The reselling sneaker bubble. I was just minding my own business one day and I kind of just stumbled onto this video. Particularly correct is by Keith Adam, who is a reseller. He does videos where he kind of basically goes over if you should hold sneakers, you should sell. And just to preface it, he does have a lot of experience reselling shoes. He's been in the game since 2013. He has a bit more years on his belt than me. Obviously, I'm probably younger than him. But I disagree with a bunch of basically points he made in this video, and I kind of like to disagree with him as well as give my perspective on how replicas are going to affect the sneaker market over time. Now, his main point is that the reason you're seeing a decrease in the value of sneakers as of recent is not a sneaker crash, it is a return to normalcy for a lot of shoes, especially on StockX. And this was because we had an overinflated market in 2020 and 2021 because of quarantine and because of the pandemic quite generally. He begins by basically saying the main reason is because so many people during quarantine were getting into sneaker reselling and just want to make some money. Consumerism did grow as well because purchases decreased. He does make a point, however, here.
Were unavailable, or many people simply had incentives to avoid them for safety reasons. Hence, goods spending increased in an immensely high amount at the expense of service purchasing. Most notably of all goods were physical, durable goods. Sneakers are merely just one of the many examples that were involved.
Now, I really don't understand where he's getting this from because a sneaker is not a durable good, it's considered a non-durable good in literally the fucking study that he put on the screen. This would be consistent quite generally with showing how sneakers have been at a normal purchasing rate and dipped along with most things as well in the pandemic and kind of just gone up a bit more, but not to the proportion that durable goods have. It doesn't take too much fucking reading to see that fashion is not considered a fucking durable good. Really see on a chart I'll have on screen, it's literally 2 fucking pages down where clothing and footwear only increased by 3.8% on the PCE scale, or growth components of PCE, and actually went down by 7.7% in 2020. Now, sadly, I think he just included it because it helped his own thesis. The second point of contention is that people were using their stimulus checks for non-essential items.
Oh, Joe Biden, I want my check! Where's my money? I fucking yeah!
And this could have included sneakers. But the issue being is that only 8% average people used their stimulus checks on non-essential items. Take the proportion and think about the fucking amount of people are actually going to buy shoes with that money. Is not always going to be that high. So you're taking a very small proportion, not enough to inflate a market, in my opinion. Some people might use it to support their reselling business, but I don't think people are going to be buying it just to wear them with this stimulus money. Some people might, I don't think a large proportion would. His second to last point is that the documentary, The Last Dance, which is a really great documentary, don't get me wrong, basically highlighted the sneaker market and had a heavy focus on Michael Jordan and his Jordan brand, and new people became more interested in it. I don't disagree with this. I definitely think this has a significance in the rise of Jordan 1s becoming more popular throughout this current time. Before, we obviously had other trending Jordans, but Jordan 1s have really taken over the market. You also had the Nike SB. Their shoes become much more popular during the pandemic.
As a result of this. Now, this, of course, could affect sneakers as well. However, at this current moment, it does seem that sneakers in particular may have gotten off quite lucky, especially Nike and Adidas, and that's due to all the supply chain issues, especially the major issues that they're facing in Vietnam. Nike and Adidas especially may have just experienced a blessing in disguise, potentially saving them from intentionally over-ordering. This could potentially save the sneaker market from actually crashing, since Nike and Adidas couldn't really over-order by a large amount, even if they really wanted to. However, while everyone seems to be so worried about inflation in the United States right now, what I'm more worried about is that potential minor recession we could potentially face due to this over-ordering of so much.
Please don't take fucking economic advice from this guy, please. So this entire shit about how inflation doesn't matter and all is just fucking bullshit. Nike has a financial area, okay? They are taking into account how much people want and what there is and what they can release, right? It's fucking bullshit to say that no company has any concept, especially a multi-billion-dollar company such as Nike definitely is aware of how many shoes they want to get out and how many shoes are available or how many shoes people are buying. Post-production wounds here, and I really think he just read the title of a fucking article and didn't read the actual article. The entire article in the Bloomberg is that Nike is having supply chain issues where they weren't able to get the items to consumers that actually wanted them. I don't understand his point right now about all this shit. It literally just this article literally just proves the opposite of what he's saying.
While everyone seems to be so worried about inflation in the United States right now, what I'm more worried about is that potential minor recession we could potentially face due to this over-ordering of so many.
Now, this sentence is just fucking retarded. Inflation matters more than companies overbuying. I'm just gonna be perfectly honest with you right now. That's just a fucking fact. Inflation is literally defined as the increase in prices, and at the moment we're seeing that because there's a rise in consumerism and there is a issue with global supply chains, and that can be caused by multiple factors such as the U.S. government and administration, and just generally it being very hard to have a good supply chain when consumerism is up at such a degree that it is post-pandemic. It's just inherent. Inflation is very fucking important, and this directly correlates to the reselling market. If I'm selling a shoe for $400, let's say, and all of a sudden price hikes happen in my local area, I need to buy food, right? A 7% hike, I'm gonna start selling that shoe for $500, $600. And then there you start seeing an actual more inflated market than we already see. So inflation, yes, it does matter. So that's about it on terms of what he says. I don't know what else to say, but just don't take economic advice from him. Now, again, I don't disagree that there is an inflated market at the moment, but I don't think it's going to be going back to normal per se, or it hasn't been normal. I think it's going to be pretty successful and pretty stagnant, and that you can see companies like Kickham in the UK and other companies showing how you can actually turn reselling into a proper business, and it can be very, very successful. We have had Five Club for years, we've had Stadium Goods and everyone's round 2 and all of that. Now, on to my prediction. Okay, I may be wrong here, don't take me as financial advice. I believe sneakers will have an upward trend, and I think they'll keep going. I think what will crash them is an actual market recession quite generally, and this can be caused by inflation, right? Big spending and big bills by the government. So it's possible that we will see when there's actually a market crash and there's an issue where people cannot spend their money and they have to save their money, where sneakers are definitely not going to be assets that people are going to want. Sneakers have little to no intrinsic value, so they have become a bubble, and I see this bubble will continue to inflate. This is my opinion. And I don't think Nike is going to do anything about their low stock, their overhyping, all this shit where you can't get something, you can't get a hype drop without a bot, or being very skilled with having a bot. By the way, it is a skill. Because I don't like the virtuous replica idea where, oh, I'm so virtuous, I'm saying fuck you to the billionaires at Nike. No, it's just not fucking true. You're buying replicas because you can't afford the other thing. Ultimately, it will take a lot. Yes, they lose a lot of money in losing their intellectual property, but I don't believe significant enough for them to all of a sudden cave into the Repfam. And the last thing is, I don't think he really took into account what hype is. Now, hype really just makes prices get inflated. A lot of little kids or even teenagers see what their celebrities are wearing and they're automatically going to want it. And so on the cycle of, I want to be a hype beast, and it wasn't left in 2017. This also inflates the price, and this is why it's always inevitable that it'll go up and down, up and down, and up and down as the sneaker culture changes. Now, I think that's really about it, I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not send Keith any hate. Make sure to actually make him watch this video, and I'm curious to see what he thinks about it in comparison to mine. Make sure to like and subscribe, and leave any comments down below. Disagree with me, agree with me, wanna fucking shoot me in the head, and go for it. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day, and peace out.